I didn't hear anything clear.
It moved through that.
Yeah. All right. Can we try?
That's why you come back and visit, yeah? Good memories.
Are you stuck here, though?
Okay, so what happened there was someone asked, "Are you stuck here?" And there was a female voice that said no.
Yes.
So you're saying that person that said no was not present in the room?
No.
I just got a massive shiver.
So we believe that's the spirit of a Martha Marsden who lived in the house. She's been seen, and apparently this house.
So which one of you is driving me home?
This is what I love. So this house was a memory house. At the moment, it's doing nothing. It's pretty much office space, sort of. But at one time, it was like a cafe type thing, and ladies would use a kitchen, and they'd have to acknowledge Martha, otherwise they'd have a bad day. I don't know what would happen to them. And a lady's seen in the house too, and they think it's Martha.
That's really interesting. Can you tell me, is the woman wearing clothes?
What does that mean? She's
Because
naked.
yes, because why do we see how do clothes come back? That's what I've always wanted to know.
See this? Okay, I'll tell you another story. So when we were with Whisper, we did an event at Hero of Waterloo.
Yep.
So it's an active pub, very nice old pub. The pub was going at the time. It was open, so there was patrons in the bottom drinking. There was a band playing. It was fairly loud, and there's 2 function rooms upstairs. So Craig again was just telling stories about Cockatoo Island, actually showing evidence, blah blah blah. And after like 2 hours, he talked a lot. After 2 hours, we had an intermission. By that stage, there was like 30 people. There was a lot of people in there. It was a big room. You know who was in there? The faces. Got to know everybody. A gentleman walks in the room. Not far from the threshold of the door. Says hi. Is everybody enjoying yourself? Talk to Chloe, who's one of my team members. Her father. And walked away. I crossed him on the stairs, and we sort of, because it was a thin like heritage stairs, because they're always thin and steep.
Yep.
And we kind of like turned to not hit each other, hit our shoulders, and we like kind of nodded to each other, and I went back up. Turns out he was the old proprietor, and he's been dead for 2 years. Ivan, his name was, and he was wearing the exact same thing that he does in the picture on the webpage.
So a little bit more on that was we were out the front after we packed up, and one of the team members said it was nice of Ivan to come in.
No, the owner. It was nice for the owner to come in.
Yeah, sorry. It was nice for the owner to come in and say, "How you going? See how you going."
How did they know he was the owner?
They've met.
They've been there before.
Okay.
So Nicky and Craig, the runners of our old side Whisper, they've been there before and they knew. And Craig said, that was Nicky, and Craig said to Nicky, "Oh, you mean little Asian lady was his wife, and she poked her head in every now and then too.
Yeah,
we've seen her." And Nicky goes, "No, Ivan." And Craig's like, "What?" Ivan come in and said hello. Craig was the only one that knew he was dead, and he was the only one that didn't see him that night.
I remember seeing him from across the room and just going, and you're not paying attention, you're just going, "Oh, who's that?" And I remember going, "Oh, that must be someone from downstairs." Because like Rob said, you actually didn't see, you knew everybody was in the room because we were sort of running the function, but we were kind of just helping. So we're in the back, and you're just standing around. Everyone was sort of sitting in a U-shape, watching video, watching evidence, all this sort of stuff. Like I said, like Rob said, this guy just poked in, sort of nodded to everyone, and then said something to Chloe's dad, and then took off down the stairs, or just left the room, and then obviously he'd walk down the stairs past Rob. And then when we're on the street, midnight, after we'd packed up, like I said, Nicky said, "Oh, look, how's it nice that the owner popped in and he was there?" And it was like, the owner's a she. Like, what are you talking about? And then we asked, and he'd actually passed away 2 years to that day. So
Anniversary spirit.
he looked,
Flesh and blood.
and we looked him up on we looked up Hero of Waterloo, and there's a picture of Ivan because Ivan owned the pub since 1980s or something, and he had this checkered shirt.
Yeah. Like an R.M. Williams type.
Williams sort of set up, and that was exactly what the guy was wearing. Now, whether they, skeptic might turn around and say, well,
It's an elaborate prank.
yeah, it's some sort of prank, and hey, it might have been, but it had a massive effect on Chloe's dad. I know that he struggled with why he chose him to speak to him, and,
Right.
So Rob just showed Kiwi a picture.
Okay, so
And
Ivan Richard Nelson. If any of our listeners know of this this place, the Hero of Waterloo, being haunted, it's in the rocks. Please drop us a line.
Yeah. It's and have a look at the page and the picture of Ivan standing in front of his pub. That was exactly what the guy was wearing. Now, I don't know. I think it's. I know I saw it.
Yep.
Okay.
Multiple people, a whole room seen him.
Oh, room saw it. Yep.
I've got to go home, guys, and change my underpants.
Yeah. It's
And that's common. A lot of the time they look like you and I.
I just wonder how clothes go to the next life. That's the thing.
Yeah, they're a thing.
Why would you
They're not
wear
a living.
clothes?
Yeah,
That's the thing.
I know.
How many times does the person? I've seen the lady in white.
Exactly.
the 18th.
Isn't that a common
That's
thing
so
that's already
common.
been implanted
It's
in
already
your head?
100%.
It's like aliens. When people see aliens, there are always these green guys with big
Yeah.
eyes. Why do you see green guys with big eyes?
Because that's what you've been
you've
told.
seen green
I've
guys
seen
with big eyes all your
white
life.
things a lot. Like I said, I've seen weird stuff in many forms. Like if you call them ghosts, again, who knows what they are. I've seen things like little balls of light dancing around. I've seen like white mists. I've seen like a white skirt. I've seen all sorts of stuff. Black figures.
Yeah.
That was at Q Station.
You say that with such just
Like it's not nuts.
Yeah. No, well, and it's not scary.
No.
You walk down the street and tell someone you've just seen, a dark figure standing in the corner, or you've just seen someone walk past your bedroom window, or like most people would freak.
Yeah.
What out.
See, I don't know. It's the way I say it, the way I bring it to people. But people don't think I'm crazy. I don't know why. And they start, you know what? I did see something weird once, blah, blah, blah,
I think we've all seen things that we can't explain.
That's it, exactly right.
I will definitely double down on that. And the amount, when I first started doing this, and the amount of times you'd go to any event, family, parties, social events, bloody movies, whatever, as soon as someone hears that, you're a Ghostbuster, I say that, but you research the paranormal, people go, I don't believe in that, mate. There's a lot of people who go, I don't believe in that. That's a load of garbage. But there was this one time that so there's, and then obviously you also do get some people that you would not even, there's one particular guy I'm thinking of, long haul truck driver, the manliest of men, but he's got one ripper of a ghost story from, and whether that was sleep deprivation or whatever it might be, but mate, he recounts that ghost story to the point of he knows exactly what that little boy was wearing. He knows that he was there. He was at what point. He can tell. I get goosebumps now, just thinking about it.
It's burning his brain.
It's burned into his brain. So
that
experience is his experience. I will never ever take that off him.
Yeah.
And I can't tell him, no, mate, that wasn't real, because he knows he saw it, and he's like, I've seen it. I've seen that little boy, and he goes, I looked it up and found out there was a haunting on that road of some little boy who drowned in a boat accident or something, and which was near where he was, and okay, but to hear someone like that,
I just want to clarify something, but I'm going, I've seen this, seen that, seen this, I've experienced this. If something happens, I don't jump to the ghost conclusion. I just don't.
Yep.
Same.
I just want to clarify that. And you'll find people, investigators like myself, like Jarad, are more sceptical when stuff happens. Because we have a list.
And it's getting longer.
You know what I mean? We go, okay, was it this? Was it that? Was it this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The light flickered. Oh, was it this? Was it this? Was it this? We have this whole list to go through before we start thinking, it might be something weird going on here. I just wanted to put that out there. So it's just
Yeah.
And that's a common thing that a lot of people that's advice you give is don't jump to the conclusion that that if it goes bump, it's not a go.
Yeah.
But then you get the people the other way. They're like, literally, like something would slap them in the face, and they'd be like, no, it was the wind.
Yeah.
But that's
and rightfully so.
That's right.
It's the wind.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
They can, that's
But you find like a lot of people these days really want their house to be haunted or something. That's why I don't really do like private cases and stuff like that. Like it's almost like it might be cool to have a ghost in your house or something these days.
There was a particularly gruesome murder a few years back, maybe 10 years ago now. It was within one family. And when the house went up for sale, I think the prospective buyers said they weren't told that it was that house, that where this infamous murder was committed, or murders, sorry. And I think there may have been some sort of law put in place after that if anything significant like that needs to be disclosed. And I was thinking, hang on a second, does that mean the government's acknowledging that houses can be haunted? That's what it implies, doesn't it?
It does.
Really?
It does.
Because
And
otherwise it doesn't matter.
that law, if I'm not mistaken, is in place in America.
Right.
Yeah. So there's actually you must disclose when you sell that I don't think if someone had passed in the house. I think it's if there was a murder, gruesome sort of. Well, someone lost their life
in a bad way.
Yeah, prematurely.
I guess it can do psychological harm to the new person.
Oh, yeah.
A new inhabitant, but still, it kind of has a bit more of an implication, doesn't it?
It does, and why? If ghosts don't exist,
Exactly.
Why? Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Now you could imagine walking through the fields of Flanders or something in Belgium, and same thing, right? People got mowed down by machine gun fire.
Yeah.
Is that haunted? Possibly. Now I've been through the Great Pyramid of Egypt, right? I was actually there. It was amazing timing. I got there right before they closed for lunch, so it was just me and one other tourist.
Wow.
Yeah. We had the whole place to ourselves. And I can tell you, I didn't detect anything. Now, of all the places, because I was just thinking, where have I been that should be haunted? Well, it's the Great Pyramid of Giza, really.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah, I mean, it's supposedly a tomb, or, people have all their different theories, I went with the alien route for a period there.
Right?
But yeah, of all the places that should be haunted, it's that, imagine all the slaves or whoever built it.
Yeah.
All the people that have gone through there, the pharaohs. Well, yeah, but nothing. I just loved it. That's all.
But it's, we're a very young country. And,
Well, for us, it's
we don't have anything to even compare, even close to compare to that.
Well, if you talk to Indigenous people who've been here for 40,000 years, they will tell you that they...
Sorry,
all got spirit stories.
Actually, I'll take that back. Yeah, I suppose, our history is young, but Australia's history is not young.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to talk to Indigenous people about what they've seen here.
Yeah.
And they feel their ancestors, don't they? It's very important to a lot of Indigenous people all around the world, ancestry.
It is, and, there's some, we've seen some crazy stuff out in the bush, so that's,
yeah, they believe in all that.
Yeah,
Yowies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Cave paintings of Yowies and sea monsters and...
Yeah. That's another level of paranormal that I don't like. Not a big fan of, though.
But you know what? People think they're connected, but
yeah,
if you believe the interdimensional type thing, like I've had friends come up to me and tell me stories that they've seen a Yowie and it just disappeared in front of their eyes.
10 foot high.
But that's what the Indigenous people think they're spirits. So who knows?
Well, when you think of a Yowie, let's get into down that path. Like these are massive animals.
Yeah.
How do they not leave any trail, anything there to suggest that these things? I mean, Rob will be able to talk more about it than me, but I've seen documentaries and things and filming things where they've found nests. They think they've found nests, but I'm like, well, how do you have an animal? Like if I walked through the bush, you'd know I'd been there.
See, that's the thing. Like, we were in Stringy Bark Creek, right? Yeah. We'll tell you another story with Whisper and Craig and that again. But we were there to do the Ned Kelly. That's that poster over there.
Yeah.
So we were there to do a Ned Kelly trail. So we went to all the Ned Kelly haunts, and one was Stringy Bark Creek. That's where he became an outlaw, where he shot the cops when he was 18 years old.
Yeah, right.
And you have to drive like an hour and a half inside of a mountain to get to this place. It's like you park at like a reserve. and then you have to walk.
Like 2K into the bush.
Yeah.
We did that at night. Like,
So it's just, yeah. Oh, we got there at dusk sort of thing, so we sort of knew where we were going at the start. And me being a cryptid freak, I hopped out and I started wood knocking.
So, sorry, can you explain what that is?
So wood knocking's something that large primates do to communicate. So you just get a piece of wood and you knock on the wood and it echoes. So chimpanzees do it.
So it's usually a bigger
Orangutans.
piece of wood onto a tree trunk.
Okay.
Echo. So I started doing that for a little bit. And everybody's going, what are you doing, Rob? You know. So, and we started doing Ned Kelly stuff, filming this web series. And it turned to ghost for a little bit. But as the sun was going down, we started to hear knocks back from the bush.
Could that have been other campers out there?
Not where it was coming from.
Very dense. Like, we were on a track. That was, as you can imagine, it's a cul-de-sac. Like, the track led to this spot that was where this incident happened with Ned Kelly.
Yeah, there's the plaques and stuff like that.
So basically, the track was built for that.
Yeah.
The rest of the bush is, yes, you could get through it, but there was no visible tracks.
Yeah.
It was dense.
There was landmines still there. There's landmines still there.
Yeah. Right.
The part of me would say, yes, somebody could have been there, right?
Yeah.
But the likelihood of that, was not... I mean, again, silent. Like, other than us, there's silence. But you hear these things. So, so if someone's out there, you hear them.
Yeah,
you can hear...
Yeah, it was dense enough, you wouldn't be able to move around without getting heard.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the wood knocks were far from the valley, and they started getting closer and closer. And that's when it sort of shifted. The energy shifted a little bit.
So I remember... So I started to get a little bit freaked out, and I'm like... So I heard our trailer that we had on the ute, on the bus, had a distinct sound when you open the latch. Like it was like... And so we heard that. That's how... Like we were like a K and a half away from it through this track, and we heard it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's our trailer. And I'm like, how did we hear... Someone's at our trailer, and we had equipment there, our gear. So I took off down the track with someone else, and we ran back to the bus. No one was there. There's no foot marks, no steps, no footsteps. There was no noise, nothing. The trailer hadn't been disturbed because you had to unlock the padlock and then pull the latch. I'm like, well, the padlock's still intact, so what's making that noise? But anyway, so we went back. As we're walking back, I heard, I heard this thud, like something huge punch the ground or hit the ground.
So I just got a massive shiver.
Yeah, like it was, I envision it like a big tail or a big fist, like something hitting the ground. And it was from me to, 2 or 3 meters away into the scrub. Like this track was probably a normal footpath width.
Mm.
And it was a couple meters in, and I'm like, I just got this shiver and went, that's a warning of some description. Some animal is in there, but then I couldn't hear anything else. There was no rustling or anything like that. And I'm like, so silly me ran back into the bush. I should have ran the other way. And then we got back to that area where it was the dead end. That's when things started to sort of
We
fire
felt
up.
like we were in a bowl and we were surrounded by something. It's a different feeling. It's not the same feeling as being in a haunted house,
Yeah. So you felt like it was some sort of wild animal.
Something was watching us.
Multiple things were watching us.
We then heard, I can only describe it as a electronic chirping sound. And I don't know, I couldn't even try and recreate it, but it was like something was like a bird was communicating, but there was no bird. It was the middle of the night, but it was almost electronic. It was fabricated, or it was weird.
So in the Bigfoot world, they're known to mimic animals. That's in their surroundings.
And then we got eye shine.
Yeah.
Red.
Yeah. Weird red. Yeah.
So red eyes out there in the bush.
Yeah.
And then the final straw was the trees were huge, and was this sound of something coming through the trees
towards
us, cracking branches on the way. bang, 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 thud, hit the ground like another couple metres away from us. Couldn't find it. It was that dense, we couldn't find what it was, but this thing sounded like it was the size of, like, I don't know.
A basketball, maybe?
Yeah, but
smaller?
like,
Yeah.
but like heavy.
Yeah.
So something had been thrown at us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
right,
from a
right,
height.
right,
like,
right.
this thing come through the trees and you could hear it for like, what's that? Bang.
So it's like a giant stone just flying through the trees and boom, just hitting the ground.
And that was it.
Yeah.
I was done. I was done.
Like, I think it's time to go.
I don't know what it was, but the feeling between... I mean, fear is a funny thing because everyone felt it, but then it, like, did we make it, like, did we feed it? Like, you know, we were all feeling fear and struggling with it and going, man, I'm a good couple of minutes, like, if I'm sprinting, I'm not going to sprint a K&a-half. But maybe I would if someone was chasing me. But
I wasn't a straight line either, was it?
No,
Yeah,
it was like
zigzag.
winding through. So you're like, I'm in the middle of nowhere here, like, and I'm the slowest. I'd be the tenderest, you know.
Did you hear something?
No,
It was a yowie.
Yowie, in the middle of suburbia. Stop it.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, that
So we packed up and we left.
that was my only real experience with that, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I've made it very
different.
clear.
It's a different feeling. Nothing in an Australian bush can hurl rocks.
And we don't have primates, do we?
No, we don't have primates.
I would love to talk to an Indigenous person to get their take on this sort of thing because...
A lot of them don't like to talk about it, but...
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe...
But they believe it's their spirits, and it makes sense. That totally makes sense, because these are things that are known to be massive, like 7 to 9 foot tall. You know, wide as a bus. How does something that big not making noise?
I've heard stories of people driving around Australia, you know, in the middle of nowhere, and they'll see giant creatures. Like, not when I'm talking on the road, like, you know, surrounded by the desert, they'll see a giant kangaroo or something. And I'm talking, like, massive.
Yeah.
Some people say that we're seeing ghosts from, you know, animals that are extinct now, and, you know, you go to a museum and you'll see that, we had some giant wombats, for example. Mm-hmm. Anyway, look, it's completely fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think we'll ever know.
No. That's the beauty of it. That's why I like it. And I'm content with it. That's the thing, like, a lot of investigators aren't. And they desperately want to find out what ghosts are or yowies are, and I'm fine with not knowing. I really am.
Well, Rob, thanks for sharing all of that with us tonight. Yeah. Jarad, thanks for sharing this completely different side to you that other people would not have known.
Yeah, it's my little hidden secret.
Well,
not so hidden anymore.
And look, and like I confessed to the entire internet just then, you know, I really want to believe.
Yeah. We'll come along to an event.
Yeah, that's the.
So, like we said, have we said that Jarad came along to our my Halloween event yesterday? Or was it Saturday? A couple of days ago, and he's seen some of the attendees like experience things in their faces.
That's a different thing. Like, I mean, obviously, I investigate for my experiences, and to have these things happen around me and get the privilege of going into these buildings, but to actually then go and sort of, you know, I wasn't there. I was there as your guest, but obviously we've worked together in the past, so I was kind of there, you know, you were doing your thing, and then if people asked a question, I was able to answer some things.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to see people kind of discover it, or be part of the thing that give people the opportunity to go into these buildings, because I never had that opportunity. So it was really cool. It was really cool, and I would suggest that if you are even slightly interested, get on one of Rob's tours, because he puts on a good tour. And
I don't like the word tour, but
yeah, well,
but you have to use it because it's essential.
on your. That's on your shirt.
Because tours, that's what I'm saying. Tours, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, that's how people kind of see it. And
it's it.
And if you're concerned about, like, you know, you're going to be out of your depth, it's nothing like that. It's honestly, you know, it is for the normal person.
Yeah, it is.
That has a bit of interest, and even the boyfriends that get dragged along. But yeah, look, it's a good time, and I go there. I've been on a couple of your tours, and you know, I will go back. So yeah, they're pretty cool places, and yeah, get on it.
All right. Thanks so much, gentlemen.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you, mate.